Some people do Costco hauls. Some people do Target hauls. We do chainsaw hauls. We're looking at a trailer full of treasure. We're going to take these saws out of the trailer one by one and see what we have here. I barely know what's in the trailer. It all happened so fast. The trailer was empty and then the trailer was full. This is going to be fun. Let's get started. Hey there, welcome back to my workbench. We have a ton of saws to look at today. I'm going to bring every single one of them over here to the bench. We'll have a quick walk around on it, and then Tyler's going to pull the bar and chains off them, dump any fuel out of them, label them, and we'll put them into storage. Well, let's start with this Husky. Come on over here. Well, first out of the trailer is this Husky 359. This is a professional series Husqvarna chainsaw. I don't know anything about it. It could be parts. It could be fixed. The pull cord's missing. Crankcase is broken right there. It looks pretty beaten. Maybe it's been sitting around for a long time unused. It's got a good layer of dirt on it. The chain looks used up. The bar might be okay. I have a Johnson Red chainsaw out back with a broken crankshaft, and the crankshaft I need is inside this thing.
You're gonna need that.
Thank you, Tyler. So maybe this will be a saw that will get the Johnson Red going. Maybe we can make one saw out of two. We'll know more once we get to it. But there's saw number one. I'm going to pass this off to Tyler. Bar and chain off, and it's going into storage. Let me grab the next one. Next up, we have an 038 AV. So 038s came in three different sizes. The original 038 AV was 61cc. Then they came out with the 038 Super, which was 67cc. And then the 038 Magnum, which is 72cc. Just a quick look out in that trailer, and I think I see a whole bunch of 038s. So this saw, let's have a quick walk around it here. Missing the air filter cover. Clutch cover says made in West Germany. That looks to be an aftermarket fuel tank. You can't buy these fuel tanks from Stihl anymore. So I like 038s, even as part saws. They're very valuable for spare parts. So that looks to be aftermarket. That air filter looks aftermarket. See, it says Stihl across the front of the brake handle. That's neat. Top cover is melted and broken. Just a ruffled 038. Good for parts, but who knows? Once we get to it, we will find out. The AV mounts are shot. No bar and chain on this one. I'll pass it off to Tyler, and I'll go grab the next one. Next up on the bench, we have a Stihl MS290. And the handle is snapped. I think it's seized. This is a 57cc farm class saw. Clamshell design, plastic crankcase. I see the sticker still on it. It's crooked, but there is a sticker on it. Made in the USA. So this is very likely a part saw. I don't think we're going to rebuild this 290, but who knows? Wow, that is a filthy air filter. And looks like spiders living in it. And I don't like spiders. This is a 2010 model. Looks very well taken care of and has a spider nest in it. Let's pass it off to Tyler. Next, And next up, we have a Stihl 026. She's a dirty old thing, and it stinks. I can see fuel in the tank, and I can smell it. It's disgusting. I can see someone's initials engraved in the handle there. The bar and chain look like they've seen better days. The chain is on backwards. Who knows? These 026s can polish up like little diamonds. I'm not going to give up on this one just yet. We'll pull the bar and chain off, dump that stinky fuel out of it, tag this thing up. Next. And next up, we have a Stihl 028 Wood Boss. These are nice little saws. It looks to be complete, in pretty decent shape. We just rebuilt one of these on the channel a few weeks ago. Part 1 was a complete teardown, and part 2 was a complete rebuild. And that is a beautiful running little saw. These 028s are known for being tough and forgiving. They're not as fast as today's modern saws, but maybe that's why they're still around 30 and 40 years later. There's no doubt in my mind that we can't turn this into a running, cutting chainsaw again. It looks all original. I like it. We'll probably plan on getting this saw up and running. Pass this on to Tyler. No bar and chain. I don't think there's any fuel in it, but he'll check. Next. And up next, we have a Stihl 017. This saw was eventually replaced by the Stihl MS 170, which most of you probably know what an MS 170 is. Very similar. Looks like a complete little saw. Bar and chain. It's filthy. The sticker's still on the front of it. It's missing its oil, or the oil cap is actually broke off. Part of it's still on the thread. Compression feels decent. The top cover is just not on right. Who knows? Maybe it's a little runner. There's no fuel in it. And it runs. I'll pass it off to Tyler. Next. Next up, we have a Stihl MS 270. These were kind of a one-off saw. Kind of a funny shape to it, eh? This is a 50cc farm class 2002 model. Something strange about these is the crankcase is half plastic and half metal. I've been hoping to get one of these in so that we could do a dissection on the channel, and now here I've got one. It's got a decompression valve. It's in. It's got some compression. I don't see these saws too often. I see electrical tape all over the coil. Interesting. No bar, no chain, no fuel cap. All right, I'll pass this back to Tyler. Next. Well, here's something special looking. A Stihl 031 AV. There's a dealer sticker on there from Whitehorse, Yukon. That's very interesting. I see welding all over the place. It's metal. Everything's metal. I don't know if we'll be getting this thing up and running. Looks pretty beaten. Lots of broken stuff, missing stuff. But it's neat. This saw has an outboard clutch, which we don't see too often on a Stihl. I can see somebody's name scratched in the bottom of it. The first name is Roland. Are you watching, Roland? We have your saw here if you are. There's some other stuff scratched into the case, but I can't make it out. Looks like a phone number, actually. Bar and chain, too. All right, pass this on to Tyler. Next. All right, next up. A dirty little made in Germany 039. This thing sit under a tree its whole life. The bottom of a lake. Well, we're leaking bar oil. I don't know what kind of cap that is. That's different. That doesn't sound good or feel good. Okay, well, it might be a part saw after we dissect it and find out what went wrong. I love finding out what went wrong. Back to Tyler. Next. Next up, we have a janky looking 036. Pull cord half out. Not sure exactly what's going on here. Wow, this thing is dirty. The dirt. I love 036s. I don't know. I won't give up on this one just yet. Looks like it's been mistreated in its previous life. That's come to the right place to live on Second Chance Chainsaw Farm. Bar and chain included. No fuel in it. Just a dirty little pig of an 036. Next. Oh, I guess I better send its air filter cover with it. And we'll wipe up this manure before we move on. Smells like manure. Next up, look at this relic. Stihl 042 AV. There's the old Stihl emblem. That's cool. Don't see that too often. This is interesting. The fuel and bar oil are together back here. Same as the 048, which I think I spotted an 048 out in that trailer. I've been looking for an 048 after seeing the Iron Horse do a video about it. See some wires sticking out here. This is probably just going to be a part saw. Just something neat to have around. That air filter has been repaired, it looks like, with caulking. Made in West Germany. Just a big old heavy saw. I don't know how many cc's this is. The internet says this is a 68cc saw, and this model was introduced in 1976. Very cool. Next. Look at this little treat. This is a Stihl 08S. I don't own one of these. Well, now I do, but I didn't own one of these. I see these posted online sometimes. Not for very much money. I don't know. I don't think they're worth a lot. But these power heads would run a barn chain. They would run a trimmer. They would run a water pump. So kind of neat. On-off switch. There's the choke. We're missing the clutch cover. There's a little note scratched in the paint right there. Not really sure what that says. I think it's seized up. But neat to have around and neat to talk about. Next. Next up, a Stihl 028 Super. This thing looks like a burn victim. I see melted plastic. Melted. That's all melted. Kind of charred looking. Melted. The wrap handle is a bit melted. They must have got the fire out or saved it from the fire. It's a pretty clean little saw, other than being burnt. I like 028s. I like fixing them, and I like rebuilding them. It has compression. Kind of a weird sound coming out of it. See if we can see any more damage under here. Get that cover off without breaking it. Looks like a toasted marshmallow. Well, that's cool. We'll send that back to Tyler. Next. And up next we have a red lever Stihl 025, made in the USA. So the new version of this is called an MS250. Tons of compression, but something strange going on over here. So this saw has had a high idle brake failure. You can see everything melted. And this is a Toro lawnmower part, and I'm not sure why it's bolted to the side of this chainsaw. Can anybody tell me why that might be on there? This one has me confused. The muffler looks like somebody painted it. Very interesting. Kind of a clean looking little thing. Okay, next. And here we have an MS260. This is a 50cc professional chainsaw. And this saw is from 2009. So the new version of this would be called an MS261. This is actually a clean looking saw. It's missing some parts. but it looks low use. Made in Germany. The sticker's still on it. That's generally a sign of how much use a saw has seen. I love 026s, MS260s. We might dive into this saw and possibly rebuild it. I see the muffler is hanging off of it. And the piston is scored. But that's okay. It could be rebuilt. And I have parts around here to put this back together. Decompression valve. Very cool. Next. And here is a Stihl 015 little top handle saw. Sometimes you see these in orange and sometimes in white. Actually, I have a white one that sits on the shelf right behind me here. Let me grab it. I could be wrong here, and if I am, please correct me. I believe the white ones were made in Germany and the orange ones were made in Virginia Beach, USA. This is an 015 as well, just an older one. See the different Stihl logos on them. 1970s. Very cool. Fuel and oil. Spark plug back here. Awesome. Next. And here is an 038 Magnum. Sitting there kind of funny. That's not original equipment. Don't know what that's doing. This thing looks like it's had a rough life. I think it's locked up. Red lever. The handle's been stitched up. That bar stud is bent. That clutch cover has an Arctic sticker on it, but this saw is not an Arctic. I don't know. This might be a part saw, which is okay. 038 part saws are handy to have. The case is smashed, missing a chunk. Like, look at the paint off the case. This is probably a high hour, well-used chainsaw that just wants to peacefully retire. It's probably going to get its chance. Next. And what do we have here? Stihl 034 AV. Look at this handle. Does that mean it's ported because the compression's so high? It doesn't feel that high. That's a dirty little specimen of a 034 right there. The felling spike has been cut off of it. One bar stud is longer than the other. Well, that's neat. I do like 034s. This one looks a little on the rough side. No air filter. I see a taped up coil wire. Zama carb, made in Japan. The tank is bone dry, but I see a piece of something lying down in the bottom of the tank. I'm just going to see if I can grab it. Oh yes, that is a piece of petrified fuel line, I would say. The fuel line in it looks brand new. Brand new fuel line, brand new fuel filter. Just leave the old fuel line in the tank. Tank vent is missing. Next up, I think this is an 036 Pro. I think. It looks like it laid in the bottom of a lake, and the lake dried up, and then it sat in the desert for 10 years. And then someone came along and picked it up. That's incredible. I don't think the clutch cover is original to the rest of the saw. What do you think? Yeah, it's locked up. I can see the piston all scored up, seized. Probably a part saw. I think this is beyond what I'm capable of restoring. But I like having part saws. Next up, we have a little Stihl 026 made in Germany. I love 026s. Compression doesn't feel real good, but that's okay. It looks to be in pretty good condition and complete. This could be a rebuild candidate. The tank is bone dry. I can see the fuel line and fuel filter. Fuel line looks shrunken right up. Maybe we'll get to rebuild this on the channel. Next. And next up for your viewing pleasure, we have a Stihl 029 with an MS290 recoil. Red lever. This is a farm class, clamshell design, plastic crankcase. Missing some parts. It's not seized, and the piston actually looks pretty good. The rings aren't stuck. The cylinder looks okay. So I'm not really sure what's going on here. Looks like someone likes cutting with a dull chain. Fine dust stuck to everything. Red lever. Cool. Next. And here's another 028 Super. This one looks like it's been around the block a few times. Missing some hardware. Nothing there. Fuel cap's gone. Looks like paper sticking out of there. Just a beaten up old saw. Muffler is off for easy viewing. That's one of the worst pistons I've ever seen. That thing is cooked. Good part saw, but I have nicer 028s. If we're going to rebuild one, this probably won't be the one. But 028 parts are getting harder and harder to get, so it's great to have some part saws around. Next. What do we have here? Looks like a brand new Stihl MS231. It looks brand new. It's a 2014. Doesn't look like it's cut much wood, does it? Made in Germany. I don't even know if this thing's cut wood before. It's brand new. Oh yeah, there's why it's in the trailer. The crankcase is melted. This is what I call a high idle brake failure. This thing was probably started the day it was bought and left in the high idle position with the chain brake set, and it melted. That's one way to wreck your brand new chainsaw. This is a part saw. There's lots of good parts on this. Next. And here we have a nice example of an 034. Very nice saw. There's a crack in the air filter cover. Other than that, it looks pretty good. Looks complete. It even came with a bar and chain. Compression feels good. So that's a Stihl bar with a Windsor tip. Actually, it says Windsor on it. Did Windsor make bars for Stihl at some point? I've never seen that before. A Windsor made Stihl bar. Those caps have the metal chain on them. Well, the fuel cap does. Does the oil cap have the metal chain? And the oil cap has the metal chain as well. I've been told those are rare and valuable. Well, that's a very nice 034, and we'll probably have this back on the channel for a going over inspection and get her up running and cutting. Next. Okay, what is this thing? Frankensteel. Top cover says Stihl 034. The air filter cover is of a different vintage. It's filthy. It has an Arctic handlebar. There's the Arctic wires, but I don't think it's an Arctic saw. Missing all kinds of stuff. Recoil's broken. I think the coil's missing. Clutch cover is broken. This thing's tough. Muffler's missing. The brake handle is busted right off. The cylinder is snapped. This handle's actually bent. This saw has been in an accident. But they make a good part saw. Next. Up next, a Stihl 038. Missing lots of parts. I don't know what's going on here. Is that a homemade bark box? That's some fine welding. Intake boot. It's looks cracked. Might have a good case here for parts. The cylinder looks good. I see tool marks on every piece of hardware on this thing. If you ever reinstall your intake boot, when you tighten down the screw, watch that you don't drive it into your impulse line. That'd be good. Well, this saw has my curiosity piqued, but that'll be for another day. Next. And here's another one of these 015s. Being orange, I think it was made in the USA. There's that old Stihl logo. Looks like a newer barn chain on it. Maybe it was running recently. It's amazing the amount of saws here that came with bars and chains on them. Oh, we'll add that to the collection. Next. And here we have a Stihl 034. Red lever, covered in pine pitch. I just did a video on a 362 that was covered in the same stuff. Pine pitch, pine sap, whatever you want to call it. It can be cleaned up, it just takes time. Ooh, crank bearings. Not the end of the world. Handles and plastics look decent. Just dirty. I could probably make this thing look like new again. It needed a new air filter 10 years ago. Zamacarb, made in Hong Kong. I like this saw. I'm just going to take an extra 30 seconds here and just look at it a little deeper before I move on. Well, we won't send this saw too far away, and we'll have it back on the bench before you know it. Next. And here is an old Stihl 041. The internet tells me that this is a 61cc chainsaw, and they made these from 1967 until 1986. I would say this is an early one. I think there may be some other 041s out there that look a little bit different than this, probably the newer ones. Pretty neat. The old Stihl logo. Metal everything. The handle is bent. Spark plug at the back here. There's the muffler. Made in West Germany. The felling spike is also bent. Probably had a hard life. Probably a hard working chainsaw. Look at that air filter. Next. Well, here's a change in pace. We just went from a saw from the 60s to a Stihl MS201C rear handle from 2019. This saw is M-tronic. So I'll be able to plug this thing in and find out how much time is on it. It doesn't look like it's got heavy use. Low hour bar and chain. I wonder why this is in the trailer. This looks like a brand new saw. I've always wanted one of these, but they're almost $1,000 Canadian. So I wouldn't buy a brand new one. I would wait for something like this to come along. We can fix this thing up and head out to the woodpile with a 201 M-tronic. Replace that AV spring. They're always janked up like that. Fuel tank is dry. Wow, that's awesome. I won't send this very far away. Get this thing plugged into the computer. Next. It's a brand new day here. It's cold. I got a fresh hot coffee. Let's get started. Next up, we have a Stihl 038 Magnum. It looks to be complete. It's missing its air filter knob, but that's no big deal. Other than that, it looks like everything's here, including a bar and chain. And that is one dirty air filter right there. Tons of compression. While I probably won't let this saw go too far away, I see a bit of paint overspray on the handle, on the top cover. But this could turn into a very nice working chainsaw. Bone dry in there. That handle could be slightly bent, or it could need the AVs replaced. But looks to me like a nice complete saw that we'll see back here on the bench soon. Next. Next up, we have a red lever 026 with a bag of mystery parts. That's a clean, nice looking little saw right there, made in Virginia Beach, USA. Oh yeah, the crankcase is busted. That's too bad. Yeah, this thing took a hit somehow. There's lots of good parts here. There's the air filter cover, the clutch cover, another air filter, clutch drum. So here we have an excellent 026 part saw. We always need part saws. Next. And next up we have another 026 made in Virginia Beach. Extremely low compression. But it looks to be a complete saw, including a completely trashed bar and chain. Probably throw those right in the scrap bin. Rusty old muffler. This is the sort of saw that I want to take apart piece by piece, dissect it, diagnose it, find out exactly what it needs, and turn it into a runner. Next. This is that saw I just had here with the rusty bar and chain and the rusty muffler. Tyler pulled the bar and chain off of it. I would say that they got every penny out of that rim sprocket. It's cut right in half. Half of it is missing. That's incredible. And up next we have a 031 AV. This is a 49cc chainsaw. The internet tells me they made these from 1971 until 1982. And I think Stihl went from this logo to the new one in 1977. This saw looks to be complete. It has compression. There's your on-off switch. Choke is down there. Fuel, bar oil, air filter, knob right there. This saw might be a candidate to get up and running. It looks like everything's here. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? All right, next. Next up, we have a Stihl 024 AV made in West Germany. So we got a few things going on here. I see wires sticking out of it. I see the handle busted off. I see a homemade on-off switch on the side of it here. This cover's all cut out. The air filter's flocking is completely gone. This thing's probably ingested tons of dirt. It has compression. It may not be over yet for this 024. It came to the right place if it has any chance of a second life. Next. Next up, we have a Stihl 041 AV. The internet tells me this is a 61cc chainsaw made from 1967 to 1986. Having this logo on it, I think means this is pre-1977. They say these will run up to a 25-inch bar, so probably a similar saw to an MS362. It looks to be complete. It has lots of compression. Looks to be in pretty good shape. Outboard clutch. Even came with a bar and chain. Made in West Germany. And the fuel tank is bone dry. On-off switch. Very neat. Next. And what do we have here? This is 017, year 2000. Looks to be complete. Looks like we have a piston sitting on top of it. No compression. That little baby piston. So somebody was going to rebuild their 017 and then must have changed their mind. I don't know if it's worth rebuilding an 017. So the piston isn't totally trashed. Like, it's not scored like you'd expect, but both rings are stuck. It looks rusty. Is this thing worth tearing apart for a piston? Not really. Should we do it on video? Probably. Well, we'll put some more thought into what to do with this. Next. And here we have another 041. We just had one of these a few minutes ago, 61cc. This would be from 1967 to 1986, probably pre-1977. This thing looks to be complete. Tons of compression. It doesn't look like it's beaten to a pulp. It's actually in very good condition. The question is, why is it in my trailer? What's wrong with it? We're going to have an 041 party one of these days. Next. Next up, we have another 034 AV. Nice little gem. Made in West Germany. It looks to be complete. In good condition. Look, even the chain catcher is still on there. That's an old Stihl bar made by Windsor. The bar is completely worn out and the chain is trash. Someone didn't know how to sharpen and they completely destroyed that chain. That's okay. The rest of the saw looks fantastic. Tons of compression. Look at metal chains. Looks like the original Stihl fuel filter in there. It's yellow. Maybe this thing doesn't have a lot of use on it. It would probably clean up just like a little diamond. Red paint or something on the pull handle. Tillotson and carb. Next. And next up we have a big old MS 460 Magnum. This is an Arctic 460. There's the on-off switch right there for the Arctic. So if you turn that on, you'd have this handle heated, and there is a heating element at the carburetor. Bar and chain look to be in decent condition. Now I see the muffler is off of it. Let me stick my peepers in there and see. Yep, the piston is trashed. I can smell nasty old fuel smell coming out of there. Yeah, it doesn't look good. But this saw could be rebuildable. It's probably worth rebuilding. To replace this saw today, you'd be buying a Stihl MS500i, which in Canada here is about $2,000. Crankcase has a little ding in it right there. Something must have smacked it or it fell. It has quite a stench coming off it, but this saw could be a great candidate for rebuild. If you guys see something on my bench today that you really like and you really want to see, just tell me in the comments. I love 460s and 046s. How many times do you hear me say I love this and I love that? I just love chainsaws. I love all of them. All right, up next here we have a Stihl 039. Tyler has asked me to have this saw up and cutting by dinner time. Should be no problem. So joking aside, we're missing lots of parts. This is probably a part saw. That's okay. 039s come in real handy for parts. The piston looks really good from what I can see through the exhaust port. That is a original cylinder, Mallet. I love part saws too. Welcome to the Second Chance Chainsaw Ranch. Next. And next up we have a Stihl MS 250. Looks to be complete. It had a bit of fuel in it. Already dumped it out. Seems to have compression. Bar and chain. Anyways, it's dirty, it's damaged, broken, has a little hole in it there. And there's something going on with the tank vent. I see Tygon, I see glue. That Tygon runs down into the fuel tank. So maybe just tank vent issues, and maybe that's it and the saw will run. Who knows? It's in my trailer for some sort of reason. Next. And here's another 041. It's locked up. The spark plug is out of it. The bar and chain are trash. This might be a good candidate for a teardown and find out what makes these things tick. You've got some nice 041s that could be runners, and this might be the dissection part saw. Part saws are good. Next. And here's a 031 AV. Lots of compression. Missing some handle parts. Maybe it's a runner though. We've got a few of these around here for parts now, I think. Bar and chain are probably trash. Now this saw has the modern logo. They made these saws, well, the internet tells me from 1971 to 1982. And I think this logo came in 1977. So we can narrow this down to late 70s or very early 80s. Well, we'll add that to the saw warehouse. Next. Oh, a little 024 Super. I love these saws. I love all saws. It looks to be complete. This saw was made in Virginia Beach, USA. That's a full 3/8 bar and chain on there. This would have came factory 325. So someone has switched it over, or they've put the wrong bar and chain on it. Compression doesn't feel fantastic, but it could be an excellent rebuild candidate. Empty fuel tank. Nice caps with the metal chain on them. Beautiful little saws. Next. Another 031 AV. Looks to be complete. Lots of compression. Almost think it wants to start for us. Ooh, what's that noise? Oh, that's that big red felling spike on there. Made in West Germany. Bar and chain. That bar may be worn out. This has the newer logo again, so probably late 70s or very early 80s. You're probably wondering to yourself, how will she ever get to all these saws? I will. Next. Next up, we have a Stihl 025. This was replaced with the MS250, which is a current saw. Looks like a nice little complete 025 here. pretty clean looking. Bar and chain look to be in good condition. Lots of compression. Oh, there was fuel in this one, but Tyler already got it out of there. Just a clean little saw. All right, well, on to the next one. Well, look there, another 031 AV electronic quick stop. So this one has a chain brake. All the ones that we've already looked at, all the 031s we've looked at, do not have chain brakes. I think back during this time, the chain brake may have been an option. And those previous ones may have been points, and this one is electronic. The old logo, pre-1977. The handle is broke right there. Looks to be complete. Lots of compression. Bar and chain. The chain is nearing end of life. Maybe already there. Whether it's a part saw or a runner, I don't know yet. Made in West Germany. A nice little piece to add to the collection. Next. Tyler just pulled the chain off at 031. Can anybody who's watching tell me what this is attached to the clutch? What on earth is this? Is it something to do with the chain brake? I know somebody watching knows a lot about these chainsaws, and it's not me. And this here looks to be an 026. I see a big number on it. It's probably a company saw, maybe the Hydro company. It's covered in pine sap, pine pitch. Looks to be complete. Plastics are different shades of color. That top cover isn't really attached properly. Bar and chain might be usable. Handle feels loose. Top cover is loose. Has compression. Well, that's a candidate right there to be a running saw, and it might look good with all that pine pitch washed off of it. That's hard stuff to get off. Next. And here we have an 036. That's a pretty clean example of one. Looks like somebody's probably spent some time cleaning this up. I see some holes drilled here in that handle, and I see holes drilled in the top cover. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you may remember an 036 on my bench that had a rental sticker on top and a tag riveted onto the handle. So I wonder if this is a previous rental saw, some kind of numbered company saw maybe. It looks to be complete. Even the chain catcher's there. It looks clean. Bar and chain came with it. Has the original Stihl filter in it. The tank is dry. Just a clean little saw right there. Zamacarb, made in Hong Kong. Well, we will eventually get this thing back on the bench for a full going over. Next. And guess what? Another 031. Starting to wonder why there's so many 031s in this trailer load that seem to be complete with good compression. Do they have coil issues? There's probably something about these saws that I don't know. Anybody who knows about these, is there a common problem? Let me know in the comments. Lots of compression. Looks to be complete. Looks to be pretty clean. Why is it in my trailer? I see a spider coming out of it there. Not liking that too much. Do these things have coil issues? Let's do a spark test. So you're going to look in this window right here for spark. Well, I don't know why it's in my trailer, but I'll add it to the 031 collection. Oh, this came with a bar scabbard. Simcoe, Ontario. N. Broughton. If you're watching, we have your saw here. Next. And here we have another 041. That's all rubbed off. Even the Stihl logo is rubbed off. I don't know if that's from just heavy use or why they're gone. So it looks to be complete. High compression. This one has a chain brake and a Poulan bar and chain. Professional Poulan sprocket nose with a Windsor tip. That's neat. Don't see those bars too often. Is that a collector's item? Next. And here is an 024 AV. This looks like a beautiful little mint. The handle is apart here a little bit. Not sure why. That still has the Wood Boss sticker on it. Don't see that too often. They're usually long gone. Possibly the original bar and chain. Made in Canada. Chain catcher looks like it's barely even hit by anything. What a little specimen. Red lever. It's like a brand new air filter. I feel like if I put gas in this, it might just run, but I don't know. The tank is dry. Well, we'll definitely be seeing that back on the channel. Next. And next up, we have a Stihl MS360. So before the 360, you had the 036, which we've seen some of today. And then after the 360, you had the 361 and the 362, which is the current model. I see lots of 036s in the shop. I see lots of 361s, but I don't see a lot of 360s. I don't think they made these saws for very long. This saw here is a 2006 62cc professional. So it looks to be fairly complete. It's missing the fuel cap. does have compression, but it also has noise. I think we're hearing loud crank bearings. I see initials scratched in it everywhere. DS, DS, DS. That sticker's still on the front of it, just hanging on by a thread. Air filter's loose. Limiter caps are still intact. This is a saw that I would love to go over completely and get back into service. Probably a total tear down, split the case, crank bearings end up. MS360. Next. And this here is a Husky 372 XPG carcass from 2003. This was a heated saw. So this could be a good part saw with all the heated components. This is all I was able to get for it, but I can put it on my part shelf and you never know when I'll need something off of it. Next up, made in Germany. This is a big old Stihl 046. Looks to be complete and well used. Came with a bar and chain, that's neat. Whew. Lots of compression. Elasto start handle is broken. This saw probably rode around somewhere with other saws, and the other saw's chain and bar probably went through here. You see that rubbing on the handle there. That's usually what that indicates, but it can indicate other things. Lots of nicks and chips in the wrap on the handle. Just a well-used 046. This will be fun. I love these saws too. Can't wait to get to that one. Next. And now we have a Stihl 038 AV. So this would be 61 cc. And the oil cap just fell off. That oil cap is from the Amazon, as is that fuel cap. When you see a black cap with that orange center, you know it's from the Amazon. It looks to be complete, along with a bar and chain. This saw has a magnesium fuel tank. You only see that on very early 038s. Made in West Germany. This tank has been JB welded before. Several repairs done to this. She's got compression. That air filter looks like something from the Amazon as well. And it's got some sort of Chinese spark plug in it. I have seen people have problems starting their 038s because of the aftermarket air filter. The choke is built into these, and sometimes they don't seal correctly, and they will prevent the saw from starting. So far, I'm seeing quite a few Amazon parts. Let's just pull this air filter off. Usually when I see this much stuff this soon, we often find the original carb gone and something else on there. So let's just take a peek. Yep, that's an Amazon carburetor as well. Tank vent is dried right out. Oh yes. I'm going to try to give you a look here inside the fuel tank. There's something kind of interesting going on in here. So up there by my flashlight, you can see the black fuel line coming down. And then coming out of it is a piece of Tygon to the fuel filter. And there's a piece of wire in there, I guess, holding these two together. That's something I haven't seen before. Somebody very creative must have owned this saw and didn't have access to the proper parts, I guess. That muffler doesn't look right. The top cover has a hole melted through it. Well, 038 AV. Next, how about another 041? The old logo, 61cc. This thing could be anywhere from 1967 up until, I believe, 1977. It looks to be complete, along with a rusty barn chain. Spark plug wire is melted and taped up. It does have compression. Rusty air filter. Can you still buy these air filters, Tyler?
Oh, I don't know.
I've never actually looked into it. If you can, I don't know what you can get from Stihl for this saw. I'll have to look into it.
Internet's off. It's off for the day.
Oh, my internet's off for the day because my teenage girls refuse to do anything while the internet's turned on. 041 going into storage. Next. And next up, we have the Stihl 038 AV Magnum. Now, I should say that just because this top cover says Magnum doesn't mean it's a Magnum. I've seen so many times where the plastics were taken from another saw to build one. The only way to know what an 038 really is, unless you bought it brand new, would be to measure the piston. So we'll call this an 038 Magnum. That's what it says. Made in West Germany. I don't know if I've ever seen a made in West Germany Magnum. And this cover don't really match. This is more faded than this. So there could be something kind of funny going on here. Knob is missing. Air filter's missing. That is the original Bing carburetor. It looks to be complete, along with a barn chain. Top cover is melted as usual. A bit of the brake handle's melted. Maybe the muffler was loose at one time and melted that stuff. Missing one bar nut. This one has a plastic fuel tank. Compression feels good. I can see the yellow fuel filter down in there. There's a bit of fuel in this. Let's dump that fuel out and just take a look at it. It looks like lemon lime lemonade. There's a lot of chunks floating in that. It's thick and it's pulpy. And old original fuel filter still in there. That fuel cap looks newer than this oil cap. That's got the chain on it. Well, there's another potential 038 to add to the channel when we get to it. I'll pass this back to Tyler. Next. What is this big thing? Stihl 048 AV electronic quick stop. I don't see 048s very often. I think we've had one in this shop years ago, and I don't even remember. Tyler told me it was here. I seen one of these saws on the Iron Horse channel one day, and I wanted to find one. Well, I found more than one. So these are kind of an interesting saw. The oil and fuel mix are both back here, the lids. This thing is a 76cc, and according to the internet, they made these from 1980 until 1985. The sister saw, we'll call it the sister, would be the 042. So the 042, 048 might share the same platform. The 042 and the 048 are from what we call the 1117 series. They didn't make them for very long, and not much from this saw is available to buy from Stihl. But I've got more than one of them now, so maybe it'll be make two into one, or maybe we have more than one runner. I've got another 048 that I'll bring up here in a few minutes. Seems to have compression. Came with a bar, no chain. Felling spike is cut off or just a smooth felling spike. I don't know which. Looks to be in pretty decent shape. I believe the 048 was the first saw to have this master control lever. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. There is the intake boot clamp. Some stuff on a wire there. So somebody's been messing around with this thing. Maybe it's a part saw. It's hard to say just yet. That is a Walbro carburetor. I see electrical tape. I see caulking. That oil cap, that is off a barrel, I think. Like a barrel plug. I guess whatever works, eh? Well, I'll send that over to Tyler, and I'll grab the next one. And here's the other 048. The handle on this one has some electrical tape wrapped around it. Looks to be complete. The clutch cover is broken. Made in West Germany. Came with a bar and chain. So this saw says 048 AV electronic. And the other one I just had here says 048 AV electronic quick stop. So the other one had a chain brake, and this one does not. That's just a handguard, but has no brake internals. Lots of compression. Something pink and creamy in the bar oil reservoir. I'm not sure what that is. Tank is empty. I can see the original fuel filter down in there. Hopefully this one has an air filter in it. And it does. This one probably has a better chance of being a runner than the other one. I see wires and electrical tape. holding stuff together here. Well, there, we've seen both 048s. I'll pass this back and I'll grab the next one. And here we have a MS460, made in Germany. Looks to be complete. Handle is taped up. We're going to have a pile of bars and chains, aren't we? Feels like lots of compression. Decompression valve on these guys. The air filter cover is all cracked up. See that? It's cracked up pretty good. Someone's tried to hold it together with something. Air filter's missing. Just a hard-working MS460 looking for a retirement job. Just wants to cut someone's firewood. Looks like it's spent its life working hard for somebody. Next. And here we have a Stihl 046. Arctic. Keep those paws warm in the winter. It's even got the Arctic sticker still on it. Complete looking saw here, bar and chain included. That chain catcher is pretty much demolished. You'll see these on some of these saws. This is if the chain does come back, instead of hitting and breaking the tank. That's just a little metal shield on there. Decompression plug is in, so I'll just put it back out. Ooh! She's high compression. Fuel tank is dry. Looks to be a complete saw. Looks like it's worked hard, but it probably still has a lot of life left in it. I'll go grab the next one. And here we have a saw in a box. I think it's an 050 or an 051. Not sure which. It's had some repairs to it. I see welding everywhere. Made in West Germany. The coil. Liquor store receipt. Cranberry vodka. So I don't know why it's taken apart. I don't know if everything's here. Maybe it'll just be parts. I'm not really sure, but we're going to box it up. I'm going to put it in a different box because that one, the bottom's kind of falling out. Let's get the next one. Well, there's a big boy. A Stihl 050 AV. This thing is 90 cc. That's 404 chain on there. It looks almost complete, except for it's missing its muffler. But who needs a muffler anyways? Made in West Germany. Oil output. There's a little lever right there. Less oil, more oil. This thing is either late 60s or early 70s. And then after the 050, you had the 051, which I think they made for quite a while. On-off switch, I think. Run. That's stuck on there. I'm just going to leave that for now. That does nothing. I don't know if it's seized. Maybe the recoil's broken. That's a man saw right there. How would your chest hair stay in your shirt walking around with a saw like this? This saw is from the days when you'd show up to work with a pack of cigarettes and no hearing protection. Next, if I can carry this away. Next up, we have an MS341. This is a 59cc professional chainsaw from 2010, the sister saw to the MS361. This one has no decompression valve. This is a nice looking chainsaw. Tons of compression. Complete. Doesn't look like it's seen a lot of use. It's not beaten to a pulp. It could be the original barn chain on it. I can see the chain catcher still there. Serial sticker is still in the front of it. They're usually long gone by now. That's likely the original air filter to this saw because of these flaps. They don't come with these when you order them. Very interesting. I'd love to just dig into this one, but I can't because I have to keep unloading that trailer out there. But we will get to it. Something wrong with the handle here. The operator presence lever is stuck down in the handle. Got a little bit of pine sap maybe stuck to it. I wonder if this thing will start. Should we step outside and just see? Tyler, do you want to try to start this for me? The rest of what I'm going to show you is probably just for parts, but I'll show you everything that was in the trailer. So here's an MS260 with a nice starter handle. Missing all kinds of stuff. Like I said, probably a part saw. There's a number etched in there. This might have been a business saw, a utility saw. But you never know when you're going to need an MS260 part. And there's a good parts donor right there. 038. Again, probably just a part saw. Missing a bit of stuff, but that's okay. Got to keep stuff like this around, and there's another one for us. Next. And here's a little Stihl top handle. I think it's a 190, but I don't know for sure. It's been picked apart pretty good, but we'll keep it around here for parts because you never know. And here's what's left of an 009 Stihl. Little top handle saw. Just throw it on the part shelf. I don't see a lot of these in for repair anymore, but you never know. Next. John Surred's something 10 SP. I don't know what's in front of that one. I'm sure one of you watching knows what this thing is. I don't know if it's a runner or a part saw. I just thought it was neat, so I grabbed it. I'll throw it out back. Never know when I'll want it. Next. A Poulan 2800, made in Markham, Ontario, Canada. Okay, for the size of this thing, that is a heavy little saw. A little Echo 451, made in Japan. Like, that thing is a chunk. It's missing some parts, but it was too neat to leave behind. So now it lives on Second Chance Farm. Next. An old home light of some sort. XL76, made in Canada. Maybe pieces of a Pioneer. I don't know what this is, but I have it.